Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cheryl's Place. I'm Cheryl, and I have a special guest, Ellita. Hello, Ellita.
Hey everybody,
How are you
good
doing
to be
today, Ellita?
here. I'm doing great. How are you doing, Cheryl?
I'm doing fabulous. Hi, Diana. We see you out there. Thank you for joining us. We'll just see if we can get a couple more people in the chat. How has the beginning of March gone for you, Ellita?
It's been going great. I chose March to kind of be my redemption month, like I put on my video the other day, and get back into the groove of going to the gym and getting serious about my journey again. So it's going great. How about you?
Things are going great. I'm keeping up to my goals, and the March is starting out good. Hey, Maha. Hey, Misty. Welcome to the chat. So great
Hey
to see
y'all.
you. Well, sounds like you got some great plans for March there, Elita.
Yes.
Okay, everyone's saying hi. All right. Well, since we have a few people and we kind of discuss what we have going on for March, the reason we are here is we're going to talk about PCOS and keto. And I'm going to read what PCO is and the definition. PCOS stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome. The definition is a hormonal disorder causing enlarged ovaries with small cysts on the outer edges. The common symptoms are, oh, before I go any further, I'd like to say Ellita and I are not doctors. We are reading the definition, using correct terms, and we're going to share our journeys with polycystic ovarian syndrome. Good, bad, all of it, and then why the keto diet works for us. So take this with a grain of salt. If you have this or know someone that has this, you will understand probably what we are talking about today. But again, we're just going to share what's going on with us, what we do, and please see a doctor if you think you have any of these symptoms, and you may find out, what's going on with you. Okay, going back to the common symptoms. Um, Menstrual irregular, oh, I can't even say that word. Not having your menstrual cycle properly every month, acne issues, excess hair growth, obesity, insulin resistant, lacking vitamin D, infertility, depression, loss of hair on your scalp, pelvic pain. You can have cyst popping, high testosterone, and those are just common average ones. There's more symptoms, but these are usually the common ones that most people, when they go into their doctor, they maybe have 3, 4, something, or maybe they don't even know they have all these issues. I do also want to highlight there is a small percentage of women who do have PCOS who are very thin. They cannot gain weight, and they are also insulin resistant, but they do have all these other symptoms there. But that is a small percentage, and they have trouble gaining weight. Not like the majority of us, where we have gained a lot of weight and it doesn't like to come off very well. And these are some of the treatments that are most people are doing while they have PCOS. Is some people take hormone replacement therapy, metformin, that's for insulin resistance. They alter their diet, they take supplements, vitamins, and then they exercise. So these are just some of the common treatments that will help. I'm not going to talk much about infertility. I will let Ellita talk about that. I did not have any experience about that. So I just want to mention it that is a huge problem for a lot of women that have polycystic ovarian syndrome. So, anything you would like to add about symptoms or easy treatments, Alita?
Um, I know that a lot of people have the hair loss, but also thinning of the hair, um, like male,
Male pattern baldness
yeah,
because
male
we have high
pattern baldness.
testosterone.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I've started getting a bald spot in the back of my head, and so that's. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be really vulnerable here. I shave every day. A lot of women who have PCOS do choose to do that, or some will do laser hair removal, stuff like that. But and that's challenging sometimes. But also
Oh, it's
cholesterol levels
embarrassing. We
can,
don't want to be a woman who's walking
yeah,
around all hairy.
right,
I was
right.
fortunate enough, I did a lot of laser treatments. years ago, but that was $600 a
Right.
pop. It was ridiculous. So I
Yeah.
eventually stopped. I do some plucking and some shaving. I'm very fortunate that those laser
Right.
treatments helped a lot. But it's embarrassing. We don't
It
want to walk around
is.
looking like guys.
Right.
In general, most ladies do not want to do that.
Right.
Um,
No, I think at the beginning I had a lot more feelings about, like, I was more emotional about it. Now I think the older you get, obviously the wiser you get, and you're like, I mean, it's not a big deal. It happens. It happens to more people than you would think. So I don't feel bad about it. But I remember when I first got diagnosed when I was in my early 20s, it was like I felt like I wasn't as much of a woman as other ladies, and it can be damaging to your self-esteem.
oh, it does. It doesn't help with the depression. Hi, Jess.
No.
Welcome. Hello, Janine. Have I missed anyone else? Oh, hi, Becky. Alita's mother-in-law. Hey, Becky. Welcome.
Hey, Mama.
We love having you all. Yeah, so those are, it's hard. I mean, we just do our best that we can.
Right.
So do you want to share a little bit about when maybe you first got diagnosed, or anything you would like to share?
Sure. So I started having problems with my monthly cycle when I was about 14, 15 years old. My mom took me to the doctor, a male doctor, and he just chalked it up to, some women have these problems and they're not going to be as regular as others. No way, shape, or form did he make me feel like something was wrong, something needed to be looked at. So then fast forward, after I got married, had the miscarriage, I was able to conceive once, had the miscarriage, and after that, we actually wasn't planning then. So that was a oops. But then when we did start trying, we tried for 10 years unsuccessfully. We went to several specialists, and at first, PCOS never came up, even though I went to several specialists wondering why I couldn't get pregnant. And then I remember going to this last doctor, this last specialist. I was like, this is it. If he can't tell me what's wrong, I'm not going to another specialist. And when we sat down in his office to talk, I was like, I just want to know what's wrong with me. And he said, well, from your records, I can tell you exactly what it is. I said, what? And he said, PCOS. And he went into explaining it. And it was like, finally, I had a name for this thing.
And the light bulb went
And
off. Everything
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. And they did. They tried to help us conceive with Clomid and metformin because there's like a certain cocktail of those two medicines that helps people get pregnant. And we tried that for years and ultimately wasn't able to conceive again. But, I'm 40, almost 45 now, and I've accepted it. But it can be very overwhelming. I wish that I'd have known then what I know now about keto and low carb. I feel like things may have been different, but ultimately it just wasn't meant to be for me, and that's okay.
Well, it is hard if someone does want to have children and they've tried and had medical help to try to get that. I've not experienced that, but I can understand and empathize with how heartbreaking and depressing and all the things that go along with it,
Yeah,
because it's not happening for the woman
right.
who truly wants to be pregnant.
It's frustrating when there's so many women who have them and neglect them or whatever. And I love seeing good mamas like yourself
Oh,
and Val and Jenny and everybody that I know, good mamas. But it is frustrating when you look around in the world and so many's having them and neglect them, and then you're sitting there wanting one for 25 years and can't have one. But like I said, I've accepted it now, and I love my life, just me and JC. So it's okay. I don't know who's going to take care of me when I'm older, but maybe one of you guys will be around.
hopefully I'm still around. I can help out. Well, I kind of did not truly get diagnosed by a doctor. A girlfriend of mine had seen an article in the paper, and there was like 7 items, and I think I had every single item that was listed on there. So I actually brought the article. The first time in my life I've ever brought an article to the doctor because, it's like I don't want to go to the doctor. Hey, I'm a hypochondriac. No, I just say these are what I'm dealing with, and they send me on my way with their help. But this time I'm like, I have all 7 of these things. So I thought
Right.
maybe I should get checked out. And after, a bunch of testing, they're like, yep, you have that. And it's like, so,
Yeah.
and they said you should have probably been diagnosed as a teenager. Well, that was after I already had Samantha. So that was in 1996 when I finally got diagnosed. So
Right.
yeah, it's here nor there. And the more information coming out about it, I believe women and young teenagers are being diagnosed sooner than they
Right.
were as
Right.
we were growing up.
Yes. And they know so much more about it now. That's
Mhm.
the good thing because then I'm not saying it was a new thing, it wasn't, but they have come so far, like in everything else in the medical field.
Oh, for sure. I truly agree. Well, I'm just going to go with some of my early symptoms, missed periods, or I'd have it forever, either or.
Okay.
And lots of pain, in the pelvic area, but there's like, oh, it's just cramps, whatever. So I'm like, okay, that's life. Just deal with it. And
Right.
then as I got older, is when I started getting a little facial hair, and I was like, "Ooh, I do not like this." But it's like, okay, I have dark hair. Maybe that's just normal. Blah 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 blah. And I didn't really get too much acne. That did not happen until I got a little bit older. And after, like I said, I had Samantha, I started getting a little back acne, like those big cysts that people get. And
Yep.
throughout this whole time, I did take the pill while Rick and I were dating and then married. And then when I wasn't on it and I, wasn't menstruating, I thought, oh, well, maybe we're never going to have kids. I just,
Yeah.
whatever, go with the flow. But I was fortunate enough while having PCOS
Yeah.
to do it naturally. I did not have to go other forms like you did, because it is hard and very expensive
Yes.
to go that route to try to have
Yeah.
children. Cysts. Cyst. I didn't even know I had cysts till one day I passed out and went to the hospital. They're like, you have cysts all over your ovaries. Because when I was diagnosed with it, they didn't really talk about the cyst on the ovaries. Okay, these are what we're gonna do. Let's get you back on the pill and all this stuff. And I didn't even get on metformin until after I had Samantha to see if it would regulate, and it did, but I felt crappy on it. So
Yeah.
I only took it maybe 2 years after they did all their study research on me about when I ovulated and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, you got all the information you need from me now. I'm good. I don't want this anymore. I don't feel good on it. Um, because I've never had where my blood sugar was high enough to even be considered type 2 diabetes. I've been very fortunate that way. My blood sugars have
Right.
never been high. So that's probably another reason why the metformin just made me sick. It
Yeah.
did what it was supposed to do, help me ovulate, but it didn't help with the food because my blood sugar, I mean, yes, I was insulin resistant, but since my blood sugar was never really high, it just made me sick. So I stopped
Right.
using that. Did you feel good on when you took the metformin or?
Well, yeah, and now I know why it worked so good for me. But at the time, we were just doing it, for fertility reasons. But the insulin resistance, kind of is there with the PCOS. You don't always have that, but a lot of women do get that. And it starts, the way insulin resistance starts is hyperinsulinemia. Well, that's like the beginning stages. And what that is, I was actually traveling at the time and was in New York and had to go to the ER. Well, I had a pancreas attack. And what they said was happening was my pancreas was producing so much insulin, like 3 times the insulin it was supposed to keep my sugar at a normal rate. So every time the doctor would check my sugar, it was normal. But they didn't know that I had the hyperinsulinemia, which was my pancreas working overtime to
Sure.
keep it down. So I didn't find that out until around 2011.
Mhm.
And then we went through a little bout. They started looking into my sugar. Then they thought I was hypo, whatever, like the opposite of diabetes. And then about 7 years ago, they diagnosed me with pre-diabetes. So I was right there at like 5.8 A1C, and I started
Oh,
taking
okay.
metformin. Metformin never bugged me when I was younger, and it didn't bug me this time. So I
Oh,
think,
some people, it
it's
works wonderful for them. I
right,
mean, but that's like any kind of medication. Might be great for me, not you. I mean, that's just, what you
right.
work with your doctor on that to see what helps or not.
And it did.
Um,
Now, I only
is
stayed on it 3 months this time because I got my eating under control. So I only stayed on it 3 months, thankfully.
mhm. Well, I'm going to talk about hormone replacement therapy. I do use this besides just this low dose from the pill that I did, trying, to have cycles or maybe, be safe when we were dating or, all that stuff back in the day. But now I take a high dose. And the reason I do is I did end up having a total hysterectomy. It was either 2004 or 2005. And goes back to when I was starting to have the cyst pop and blacking out. It happened 5 times. And I thought, nope, I do not want to be in a car or home alone with my children or, anything where I would cause harm or whatever to anybody because of my health situation. So they said, well, we can just take your ovaries because that's the problem. And I'm like, well, okay. So because we don't have a lot of women with breast cancer in the family, so I knew I was going to do hormone replacement therapy. But if I'm going to use hormone replacement therapy, I do not still want to menstruate. I don't, no, you're taking it all. So that's the decision I made since they were going to take my hormones away from me in
Right.
general, and they were already low because my testosterone was high. I'm like, you're taking it all. It's like it was miserable anyways. So no, thank you. You're taking it all.
Yeah.
So I do use hormone replacement therapy. I know a lot of women don't, and they choose not to, which is perfectly fine. You do not need to do that. I do it. I see the benefits for myself. Helps with night sweats, and actually gives me a little bit of energy. And for me, there is so many more pluses. So that's why I
Right.
use it. I do believe maybe you have some information about that if you want to share or
I do, but
no,
I'm
you
not
don't have to.
as familiar. Yeah, well, I'm just learning about it, and I don't want to put out any misinformation, so I'd rather you take care of that part.
All right, sounds fabulous. Well, I covered it for my point of
Yeah.
view. Um, has your doctor said anything about any form of you may have to think of hysterectomy or not?
I wish they would, honestly,
Oh,
because I do because it's been a lifelong, I mean, not lifelong, but ever since I was, 14, 15, this has been a struggle for me. So I really wish they
mhm.
would. And the downside is when you're still, at least in South Georgia, now other places it may be different, but down here it's extremely hard to get a hysterectomy when you are still in childbearing years and don't
Okay.
have kids. So if I had kids, they would take it. But seeing, even though I've told them at this stage in my life I don't want kids, like at 40, I'm about to be 45. I that shit sailed. So I don't want them, but they're still not going to take it while I'm in childbearing years. It's not fair.
No,
But yeah,
it's
that's
not
my
fair, honey.
dilemma.
It's not fair. Hey, Ellen, welcome to the chat. And Marcy, thank you for coming. I think I missed somebody else too. If I did, I'm just so grateful you're all here. Oh, hi, Becky. Becky's here too. Thank you for everyone who's come on in the chat. So, is there anything else that you would like to talk about your PCOS and share?
Um, the acne was really bad for me and still is. I've dealt with that since my teenage years. And when I was a teenager, we were just thinking it was that. But my entire life, I told my brother the other night, so you can look at my face. I don't have to say a word. You can look at my face and tell how clean I'm eating due to my skin. Because even though there's not a cure for PCOS, there are things you can do, such as what we're going to talk about, diet, to manage the symptoms and keep them at bay. And that's one thing that is a telltale sign for me. If I start breaking out, and I may not even know, it may be sometimes it's dairy. I have too much, I have to back off of it for a while. But it's the telltale sign with my skin. If I start breaking out, I know something, I'm doing something that's not good for
Oh yeah. No, I agree. Big time too. Well, I think I kind of covered everything. I'm totally open to talk about anything. Oh, I have the thinning of the hair. We talked about facial
me.
hair. I don't get acne really. Maybe a breakout once in a great while, but if I stop taking estrogen, oh, big huge cysts start growing on my back immediately. So,
Hmm.
um, trying to think. So I think we kind of
Now, what
covered
about your
most of the.
period?
Pardon me? Oh,
What
when you
about your
still have your
period?
period? Mm-hmm.
Because I know when I was looking at different people, they said it was on a spectrum. Some people, every case is going to be different with
Mm-hmm.
PCOS. Some ladies don't have a problem with their periods, but that
Well, they
was one of
don't.
mine.
You're
Did
correct.
you, like, was yours as severe? Like, I would go 5 years without a period. Like, how was yours?
The longest I went would be 4 to 5 months, I think. 4 to 5 months, then maybe I had one or 1 or 2, then it would be 3 months. So
Yeah,
maybe 6 months might have been my longest not having it. And then it would do that skipping. Okay, don't have it a bunch for like that year. And then the next year, oh, you're having it all the time, but it's gonna last two
yeah,
weeks, you know.
yeah. That's right. You never
Like,
know with PCOS. You don't.
you're like,
I
get
would
it
have one.
together down there.
Yeah, I would go literally 4 to 5 years, and then I would have one, and
Okay,
then I would
yeah,
have it for like 2 months straight. I would literally bleed for 60 to 90 days.
because your
And
body's like,
that,
hey, lady.
yeah, yeah. And that lining, the lining of the uterus, it just, they would go in and check it. They would check how thick the lining was to see if they needed to induce a period for me because it would get so thick. So,
Oh, and obviously I'm obese, so I'm gotta acknowledge
yeah,
that. I
me
have
too.
gained weight, and a lot of the weight is here. That's where most
Yes,
women who have the insulin resistant, it is a big belly. Yes,
yes,
you're chunky everywhere else, but it's the big belly. And
yeah,
that's the most common look that we have with the insulin resistant. Um,
right.
I think, yeah, I think we kind of covered all the things that we're going through.
Yes,
So, do you want
yes,
to talk a little bit about keto, and then we'll open it up to see if anyone wants to join our chat?
sure. Um,
All right.
I came
When did
across
you?
keto. Go ahead, go
Oh,
ahead.
pardon me. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Alita.
I was I just came across keto in 2015, I think it was. Um, and that was when I got diagnosed with diabetes, or pre-diabetic. And I was bedbound at the time, but due to my back and neck issues. So I was looking for ways to lose weight to keep from getting diabetes type 2 and without exercise. And keto came up. And so that's when I started. But now it's been a roller coaster over the years. I just got really into it about 2 years ago. So, but it's been a long road. But keto low carb has done so much for me, in dealing with PCOS. It's been a life changer.
Oh yeah, I agree. I knew about keto a long time ago. Um, Rick, when he first was diagnosed, because he does have type 2 diabetes, and that's when we did all the research, and so I already knew all about it. But he was eating keto. I was just eating less calorie, whatever, roller coaster of dieting throughout the years. I
Yep.
never ate keto until I started a food program called Whole 30. And what it is there's certain foods you eliminate for 30 days and you pretty much just eat clean. Like you have to cook all your food, nothing processed. And then there's certain foods, I think dairy and I don't know, some other stuff. Well, I had lost 18 pounds in a month just alternating my food habit. And I thought, well, wow, I feel really good. You know what? So then I'm like, I think I'm going to go to keto because I like all the food on keto, whereas Whole 30 is awesome. It has its
Right.
place, but it wasn't for me because I do enjoy dairy and I believe you can't have dairy in there. So that's when I'm like, oh, I'm doing keto. And then I didn't stick with it for, super long, but for me, and I believe you, when we stick to it, we feel better.
Yes.
We're not sweaty. Our stomach doesn't hurt. Like you
Right.
mentioned, your skin looks better. We have more energy. It's just
Right.
our bodies just respond so well to it. And
Yes.
what do we not eat?
Carbs.
Sugar, carbs,
Well,
carbs.
sugar.
Which
Yeah.
sugar?
Same
Sugar is
thing.
the thing. Yeah, yeah. Sugar in any form is what makes us not feel good. And that's the way our
Right.
bodies are built. And like you can test, you have a cheat day or a free day or whatever you'd like to call it. The next day you're not feeling as groovy, right? I don't
No.
because we ate that
No.
sugar.
I, yes. Yes. Well, the way our system is made up, if you have PCOS, your the way glucose is made in your bloodstream is totally different to, I hate using the word normal, but to the average person,
Yeah,
you
a
know, it's
person who
just
doesn't have
different.
PCOS or insulin resistance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, for me it's big helpful. And we are not promoting keto for anybody. If you choose to do
no.
this diet, you research it, you check it out, see if it's for you. This is just what works for us. Everybody eats different,
Right.
everybody has different issues. So again, this is just the way Elite and I and maybe some other people with PCOS eat because we find that it helps with a lot of our
Right.
symptoms. So,
Right.
are you cool with? I'm gonna post this and see. Let's see if it posts. I'm gonna see if anyone wants. I'm putting my readers on, everybody. If anyone wants to join, we would love to have you. You're perfect in chat. If you're not interested in joining us, maybe I speak clear. Did it go on there? Oh, it did. So if anyone wants to jump in and talk about PCOS, keto, or anything about any of these issues, menstruation, hair loss, whatever we have spoke about that, estrogen, or if you've ever been on metformin, how did you feel? We would love to have you share if you're interested, any of this information. Or if you want to just say hi, we'd love just come and say hi. Um, but yeah, so what are like, do you notice the most while you're eating keto? I think, Alita, let's say you haven't, altered and you're going strong and it's been months now. What are you noticing the most at this time period?
Oh gosh, more energy.
Yeah.
Number one, I would say that's
Mhm.
the best thing. I'm not bloated. I can have one serving of potatoes and I feel like I've gained 50 pounds, literally. Just I get bloated, a little like up at your house, when I went off track a little bit when we was having fun and I had a little bit too much fun and I came back and I mean I couldn't fit in any of my clothes. It's just I bloat really easily. I don't know if that's
Some people
is
do.
that
Some
a
people
sign?
can have one, even like let's just use a fast food. They went for fast food one day and they're paying for it for a
Yeah,
week from the sodium, sugar,
yeah,
whatever, they just bloat up. Some people's
right,
bodies are more reactive to not eating as clean as they normally do. And they will,
right.
you know, Oh, Misty says she'll
Yeah,
join
it's
soon. Yay. But yeah, so I agree
good.
with you. Energy, I think I might be sleep a
Yes,
little better, but most everyone knows I just don't sleep great. But I feel like I get a little more sleep when
yes,
I'm keeping up on my keto because then I'm feeling good. Well, what does that result? I'm working out more. I'm getting more fitness in because I'm feeling good. I'm feeling stronger. And so it all just kind of is this circle that all incorporates for me. Do you
Yes,
notice that too, Alita? Like you'll feel a little bit more stronger and have
absolutely.
more energy to get your fitness and
Yes.
exercise in?
Absolutely. I'll be more excited about it. And I try to tie things together. For example, like when I go to the gym, a lot of times I'll run by Walmart after the gym because I know if I pick up what I need afterwards, I'm not going to be as quick to pick up something I don't need when I just worked out. So I'm going to stay on track. I'm more apt to stay on track if I
Oh,
go
for
afterwards to
sure.
work out.
For sure. I also
Yes,
noticed that I'm not as hungry all the time. I mean, like if I more
yes,
active, maybe the next day I might be a little more hungrier. But if I'm just
right,
eating maybe my 2 or 3 little meals, or maybe I have one meal and whatever, or a snack that day. But I find myself when I'm thick into keto, I do not crave to snack.
right.
It's just
Me
like
either.
gone. I still like that action though, or whatever you want to call it, of doing it because for some reason it must be comfortable for me. So then I'm like, oh, well, I'm not even hungry. Why am I? So then maybe I'll just grab like handful of almonds. Okay, well, if I think I need that action, eat something that is part of the keto, and then just be done. Walk away. Drink a bunch of
Yes,
water. And for
right.
myself, do you notice that for yourself
Yes.
too? Yeah.
I do, and I snack more out of boredom than
Mm,
anything else, and I have to catch myself. But I definitely do not snack it. Well, what time is it? It's 3:30 here in Georgia, and I haven't eaten yet today, and I probably won't eat until 5 or 6. I'll have a meal. But when I'm doing good, like I'll leave when we get off here, I'm going straight to the gym, doing my workout, and then I'll come home and eat. So I
yeah.
find, that's just how my like I'm not hungry right now. I could eat. I mean, the older
Yeah.
leader wants to sit here and snack, but as long as I'm busy, as long as I keep
Yep.
myself occupied, I don't snack.
Yeah, I agree. Once we're busier, but then I think the more, we're getting involved with whether it's keto, whatever diet you're doing, but for us it's the keto, and then we're doing more fitness, and then we're like us, we have this beautiful community. We have all sorts of challenges. We cheer each other on. We're checking in on
Right.
each other. And so I think that all that helps too. And then if I'm
Yes.
going to talk about my mental health just for a moment. I know when I'm having my real bad depression, and I'm going to be honest, I have been on medications on and off throughout my life because it's a tool to help you live the best life you can.
Right.
And when I've had those real bad depressions, I'm not doing nothing. And
No.
that just makes the depression worse because I'm
Right.
not, you know, and get out of bed. If that's all you can do that day, that's awesome. Okay, the next day, get out of bed, maybe brush your teeth or
Right.
whatever. But the once you start, slowly adding a little bit on, maybe you're still depressed
Yeah.
for however long, but you got out of bed, maybe you're in your pajamas, maybe not. But that's for me. When it gets so bad,
Right.
oh, left me for a second. But mental health also plays into this. And it is a huge thing with PCOS. There is depression. And
Yes.
it's because it's our hormones. Our hormones are fighting against each other, and our
Right.
brain's like, hey, what's going on? you know
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's great to have a support system like you
Mhm.
I mean a lot of people in our community reached out to me when I was going through my little thing, but it's great to have someone who encourages you to do just a little bit, even if you don't want to, just get up, go outside for a walk, you don't have to conquer the world today, but like you said, at least get out of bed.
Oh yeah, whatever you can do that's easiest to motivate yourself. And also I kind of just want to do like in our community we have wonderful resources of getting fitness and whatever. But if you are just trying to start out with fitness, go for a little walk. If
Yes,
walking hurts, grab some cans of soup, do some bicep curl, do
right,
something, do a little bit something. Maybe it's only 5 minutes that day. but it helps, especially with our PCOS.
Right.
Movement helps. It helps our body flush the fluid. It just, I don't know. Help me out, Alita.
No, no, that's true. I mean, it's who was it saying it the other day? Misty, I believe, on one of the lives. And I've thought about this before. She said, "Could I do it by myself? Yes, absolutely. But it makes it so much easier with the community to help encourage you and drive you to do more. And the steps challenge is great for people. Well, it's great for everyone, but especially those who's just getting started. I mean, it doesn't matter how many you do. It's not like it's a challenge, not a competition. We're not trying to beat each
Challenging
other
yourself.
down or,
We're just challenging
yeah,
ourselves to do
challenging
better.
yourself.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
for sure. What is like your maybe your top three go-to meals while you're on keto that is easy and delicious that you like to make?
So I love truffle sandwiches and I like them plain. JC likes to do his up, but I just give me mustard and a piece of bologna on a truffle and I'm happy. Hey!
Hey, hey, hey.
Oh, Misty. Yeah,
Sorry
chaffles
about that.
are a quick, easy go-to keto meal for sure.
Yes. And I like pancakes, low carb
Oh
pancakes,
yeah.
just some cream cheese, egg, a little bit of sweet, and that's wonderful. And
Oh
I
yeah.
would say burgers, like burgers
Yep.
without the bun, because you put the cheese and tomato, lettuce, everything on it. And I mean, I don't miss the bun anymore. I really
Yeah, I
don't.
agree.
It's
And those are
the
great,
inside's
easy
what's
go-to meals.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome,
So,
Misty.
Hello, hello. How
Hello,
are
my
you?
hey.
friend. Glad to have
Hello.
you. Well, is there any of these topics that you would like to share anything about yourself with Alita and the whole chat, everybody?
Sure. Yeah, I mean it's not just the two of you. Howdy, everybody.
Hello,
Um,
everybody.
yeah, I relate to all of these topics. I have PCOS. I guess if we start, y'all kind of started from the beginning. So I actually learned that I had PCOS when I found out I was having gallbladder issues, which was in my early 20s. I remember they were doing like, the sonogram, they were all up here, they were looking at the gallbladder, and then they went lower and then they stayed there for a really long time. And I'm like, what are we doing way down there? And then they're like, we're
Oh,
going to go
yeah.
get somebody else. I'm like, why? We're not even supposed to be looking. Stop looking down there then. And we don't have to go get nobody. Like, what? Stop looking at it. It's fine. That's not why I'm here. And so they were like, yeah, you have cysts on your ovaries. You have, my bigger thing actually was fibroid tumors in my uterus. So, but um, he's like, you have facial hair, that's why. He's like, you probably have higher testosterone. I wasn't that I know
Mhm.
ever actually tested for it, but he says that's common and why you often have more of the facial hair. I started my cycle really young. I was in the fifth grade when I started my cycle, and consistent, regular, 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 regular. If anything, extra long, extra long, extra long, extra long, to the point where I almost bled to death. So
Mm.
I'd be having my cycle for 3.5 weeks of a month. Um, Me not realizing I was losing my internal blood supply after all the
Right.
lining was gone. So I was naive in that regard, and I didn't go to the doctor. I'm not gonna lie to nobody.
Well, it is
Honesty, did
because we
not go
always
to
say,
the
"Oh, well,
doctor.
it's we have to have this every month," and whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, you're right.
I'm like,
But
this is
you
a
know
thing
what,
that
Misty? I
everybody
was
goes
also very
through.
young. I was 10
Yeah.
when I had it. I forgot. I was 10 years old, so maybe that's fifth grade too. Very young. That's young to be
Yeah,
getting
it's
it.
10. Yeah. Yeah, I had just turned 10 like the month before. And then I remember
Were those
because all the
fibroids
boys
part
and
of
I would,
PCOS?
I'm sorry.
Are the fibroids part of
Mhm.
PCOS also?
I'm not really
Oh, Alita
sure
shaking,
They
nodding your
actually.
head.
are.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, they
Oh,
are?
okay.
they
See, I
Okay,
did
are.
yeah.
not have
Hmm.
that. But that's just a great
Yeah,
Yes,
so
that's
that
example. We
was
don't all have the same symptoms. And so I'm
right.
glad you were talking
Yeah.
about this, Misty.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
mine. I mean, I didn't. I mean, my hair was thinner, but I was also getting older, so I didn't really think anything
Right.
about that. Like at the time, anyway, when he told me, like I said, I was in my early 20s. He just kind of told me I had it and was like, "This is a thing that you have," and I was like, "Okay, great." No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know. You didn't have Google back then. You didn't look
Right.
stuff up. There wasn't
Yeah.
an internet. You'd have to go to the library to a book to see.
Yep.
Who's doing that? I'm not
No,
doing
we're
that.
not.
I feel okay. I'm heavy. Just lose some weight and you'd feel better. It doesn't have
Mhm.
Yeah.
anything to do with all this other stuff, right?
Right.
But I mean, then it ended up being where I had to have it all taken out. I did keep one ovary because I did not want to have to go on hormone replacement. No shade to you, Cheryl, for being
Mhm.
on it. I may need to go
Oh
on it
yeah.
one day, but I want to wait at least
Hmm.
and produce as much of my own normal as I can.
Oh yeah.
In fact, you know, oh, I lost y'all for a second. Are y'all there?
Yeah,
I'm
now,
here. Are you
okay,
there?
Oh,
I couldn't hear nothing for a minute.
okay. Yeah, sorry, I blanked there for a second. Is it okay if I share like some detail? It won't be too
You
terribly
can
graphic.
share anything you want. That's why
Okay.
we're here. We wanted to share everything
So,
so people are aware. And
yeah, so
go
one
ahead.
thing to be aware of is some of those cysts that you can get on your ovaries are like really not good. So I didn't go to the doctor. I'm not gonna lie. Go to the gynecologist, ladies. That's gonna be my tip of the day right now. I don't care how old you
Yeah.
are, I don't care how scared you are, go to the gynecologist. I was 40 before I ever went. She's like, when was the last time you've went? I was like, never. She's like, no, I mean like when was the last time? Not like recently, but when was the last time? I was like, never. Hear me, lady. Never been to a gynecologist until I was 40. That's not the best
Wow.
play. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No.
The person who told me I had PCOS, again, was for my gallbladder. I
Right.
probably should have followed up, but I wasn't worried about it because he didn't tell me to be worried about it. He just told me it was this thing that he found. And I'm like, okay, I got
Yeah.
that thing. Cool. Thanks for letting me know. But when they went to decide which ovary, if I could keep them, one of the cysts was like growing body parts, like nails, hair, teeth. So she's like, we're taking that one. You can't have that in you. She's like, well, if I had discovered that earlier, I would have moved this even faster. I forget what they're called. Somebody out there may know
I know what you're talking
what
about,
they're
but I can't
called.
remember what it's called. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But some of them are very bad.
Mhm.
They're
Mhm.
not healthy to have in your body. Well,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
even like I said, I had the fibroids, which now I know it is part of the PCOS. They say your uterus is supposed to be like 90 grams. And when she took mine out, mine was over 900
Holy
because
moly.
of
Mhm.
Wow.
all of the fibroids that were inside my uterus. Like there was this whole thing when she was running through all these tests, they ended up doing an incorrect test and proved that I couldn't have children. Not that that's what I ever wanted to know. I was 5 years old and told my mom I didn't ever want to have a kid, and that hasn't really changed for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, they told me you wouldn't have been able to have children. You have too many tumors inside to have a space for a child. And she told me I was basically living with a full term 9 month baby size uterus all the time, forever.
Wow.
But when you're
Wow.
330 pounds and you've never not had that for the last 20 or 30 years, you don't really know.
Oh,
Right.
for sure. For sure.
So I feel like I talked a
Wow.
whole lot. I'm sorry, but that's my little thing
No,
about
no, share
No.
whatever you want. That's why we're here for. And
it can
Yeah.
be
listen,
really
I did not
scary.
have that. And that just shows that we do not all have the same symptoms, but we all
No.
have the same PCOS and we have a lot of the same issues. So,
Yeah.
no, I appreciate you sharing, Missy. I really
I
Yeah.
do.
mean, and they never said that I was specifically insulin resistant, but all of my fat was stored in my stomach. That is a little bit of genetically on one side of my family as well, that they do that. But, like my A1C was always just okay. You know, that was really interesting what you said though, Alita, about the pancreas. I mean, they never found anything like that. So, you know, I don't
Yeah.
know, but switching to keto definitely has made me feel better than
Yes.
obviously I have
That's
my
yeah.
whole life. So,
Well,
Right.
I have
Well,
a
that's
question. You're
why.
talking about your gallbladder. I've had mine removed. Have you ladies
Yeah,
have yours removed?
I have.
oh
I
yeah,
have.
it was like 20
Yeah.
years ago. That's when I found
Wow.
out
Yeah.
about the PCOS. I was in my
Yeah, I
early
don't have
20s
mine
when I
either.
had
I
my
had to have mine
gallbladder
removed
out.
also. Interesting.
Yeah. I didn't know that there was a link there, but I have had my gallbladder removed.
Mm.
And a lot of people like my excitement for keto. I know I get on a lot of my friends' nerves and family. I know Mama. Every time we go to Sam's, I think I get on her nerves talking about keto. But it's not that I think, like you said, Cheryl. I know that keto is not the only way of eating. There's tons of healthy diets out there, and I know a lot of them successful for other people, but when you finally find, when you've been dealing with something most of your life, like we have the PCOS, and then you finally find this miracle diet to me because it has literally changed everything. It
Oh yeah.
if I stick to it. Now, like I said, I've had my ups and downs. Y'all know that better than anybody. But when I stick to it, I've never been healthier. I
Mhm.
literally feel better, even though I have spine issues and I haven't I didn't feel this good in my 20s. I
Oh
didn't.
yeah. I
And
feel
when
way
you
better than
find
I did when I was
something,
younger. Yes.
yeah, when you find something that helps you that much, it's hard to not talk to everybody about it. And I can almost
Oh.
sound like I'm trying to sell it to them. I'm not. I'm just so excited that I finally found something that works.
And Alan brings up a good point. It is good, especially as I'm aging. I know some of us are a little bit older, but I've already had to do the whatever, go in for the colonoscopy and things because I'm in my mid
Yeah.
50s. But it is important to do these tests or mammograms or whatever because if we don't go for some of these, Alan has just mentioned here that he does know a couple people who are dealing with colon cancer, and just take care of yourselves the best you can. Especially, it is important for us to do. Um, did a little gnat come after you?
No, sorry. I just saw that it's Saturday. We're supposed to turn in our steps for the steps challenge.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I
hey,
forgot all about
everybody, if you're in the steps challenge, turn your steps in.
Coach, yours and your best friend's numbers. Oh no. Oh no, don't let me forget. Please don't help me.
We won't. We will help
Everybody
you.
everybody here is now responsible for making sure. Oh no, I'm sorry. I was listening to I just saw her email
Uh,
come through and
Yeah, sugar.
Yes,
Sugar does
uh
Alan.
make me feel
Yes.
icky.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Right,
agree.
keto. So I am curious though, where did y'all find keto?
I-
For
Well,
me, it was
I
when Rick was.
can
Oh, go ahead, Alita. Go
no
ahead.
go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
There's a little bit of a lag here. I was not trying to interrupt, but I think you were in the middle of coming on whenever I explained where I found it. But I was bedridden at the time due to my spinal injury, and I was over 300 pounds. Knew I needed to lose some weight. However, I couldn't work out, so I got on
Mm,
Google and I just typed in how can I lose weight without working out. And I thought that was something stupid to Google. I was like, there's not going to be anything. But keto popped up, and I got looking into it, and I was laying right in there. JC was cooking supper. I made the decision I was going to do it and start immediately. I didn't know what he was cooking, and he brings me a plate of chicken and rice. And I had just told myself, okay, the next meal, I'm going to cut out the carbs. And here I've got like a cup of rice on my plate.
mm-hmm.
So I just picked out the chicken. I didn't even tell him. I just picked out the chicken and ate it. And I did that for like a week without him knowing. And when I was down like 12 pounds that first week without exercising, I was like, oh my God, yeah, this, okay, let's go. And that's how it started.
For me, I found out, well, I think I've heard about it, but when Rick was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, is then we researched everything. So I knew all about it. He ate it. I didn't. I continued eating whoever. But then I adapted it the more I realized, one, I love all the food, and two, it made me feel better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Nice, interesting.
What about you?
I actually kind of accidentally started because I was gonna go to. It was actually after my hysterectomy, and I was gonna go to Walt Disney World. My youngest nieces had turned 5. Hey,
Maha!
Hi, ladies.
hello,
I
my
think
beautiful
so your
friend.
niece
How
turned
are
5 and what?
okay. No, I
So
think
we were
that's
gonna go to Disney World. I'm telling how I found keto, Maha. Thank you for joining.
thanks for having me. I don't
And
have PCOS though. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
you're perfectly good. Always happy to have you here.
Yeah.
So we were gonna go to Disney World, and my stepdad's sister is a nurse, and she's like, "We offer this program through the doctor's office called Ideal Protein." She's like, "You should look to see if you have it there in Houston." She's like, "I'm sure somebody does it." And so I found a local place who did it. And it was basically one of those things where you buy their food products, you buy their prepackaged meals, chips, shakes, smoothies, whatever, right? But I did it because I wanted to lose a little bit of weight to make sure that I could fit on everything at Disney World. Even though Disney World is very friendly to plus size people, I wanted to try to drop some weight. It's actually on, I don't know if it's this channel or my other channel, but there's a like trip to Disney weight loss kind of theme, right? Where I was on this program, but it just ended up being that it was a basically keto diet. So after Disney, of course, I didn't do it for any other reason. So I stopped and I just went right back to eating the way that I was eating and put all the weight back on plus some. And then I was like, maybe I could do that like in a modified version without their food. And just that's when I kind of found keto. And then
Yeah.
now I do more of a low carb. I'm a little bit okay. I'm a little bit more okay now, actually, that I'm smaller with carbs that aren't sugar, like straight up sugar. So like I can eat more rutabagas, turnips, vegetables more that are higher carb than I may have eaten before. I can eat,
Mhm.
potatoes. I'll have potatoes almost every Sunday, at the place that we eat now. In moderation still, but it's
Oh
adapted
yeah.
a little bit. But that's how I found it. And then I just felt so amazing when I was finally ready to drop weight. I was like, when was the last time I felt really good? And I was like, it was when I was doing that no sugar thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, I'm with y'all. Keto isn't for everybody, but I believe cutting out processed sugar
Mhm.
Yes.
out of your diet would be benefit for anybody.
Well,
Yes.
and then also, if you
Absolutely.
can afford it, try to cut out all processed
Well,
food in
yeah, I mean,
general. But kids love their spaghettios or whatever have you. But it's yeah. If I could go back in time, I would have not bought as much processed food for my family as I did. Granted, I cooked, I still made all sorts of things, but I still use a lot of processed stuff while I was cooking.
Right.
So Maha, welcome.
Yay!
Did you
Thanks for
want to share
having me.
anything about keto and how maybe you found it
Well, yeah, I've
yourself?
been trying to lose weight obviously my entire life, and then I was doing the paleo thing at some point as well. But then the next step, as you mentioned, is keto. So I figured, you know what, high fat, and you lose weight, why not bring it on? I love my butter, to be honest.
Butter's yummy.
So yeah, but then again, at some point, I realized that I got high cholesterol, and I think it's because of the keto. So now I'm not doing it anymore.
Right.
Oh, okay. So what kind of desired diet are you doing?
So now I'm focusing on the PSMF because the macros of the PSMF, it's low fat. It's basically your keto on low fat. I'm sorry if I'm butchering
Right.
it. This is just my version of it, at least.
Oh, that's fabulous. Well, but we kind of talked
Yeah.
about, I know Misty and I believe probably Ellita, I'm not eating all high fat, even though I'm doing keto. And that's kind
No.
of what they promote is all high fat. I am overweight.
Right.
So I am eating keto, but not all my meals are high fat. So and Misty's kind of adding some more carbs, but it's vegetables or whatever she wants to tolerate. You have that lovely bakery where you get some baked goods that are keto, and you're incorporating that now. And
those are
maybe
actually really low carb.
Yeah, well, low carb. But if you would have did that like a year in, that might have triggered more like, oh, I'm going to eat more other things because I'm really liking these buns or bagels or whatever, you've been treating yourself. But now you got to a point where it's like, I have lost so much weight and I'm so active that I can incorporate a little bit more carbs than what I was.
Right, absolutely, because my body burns them quicker and it can use it for instant energy or for instant recovery and then move from there. So it has adapted for me. It's about what makes me feel the best. And at first, higher fat, made me feel the best. And then it adapted to where now I'm, like you said, the joke is I'm a low fat keto because this morning for breakfast, because I realized eggs are getting cheaper again, but I got real mad about how expensive they were there for a minute. So my new favorite treat is no fat Greek yogurt. So no fat. I don't get like the full fat, which most keto people would eat. I get the no fat Greek yogurt. And then I do the organic PB Fit too, because it's like 80 or 90% lower fat, but it's still got the protein of the peanut butter. So it's protein stacked, but super low fat. So a lot of people would say that's not a keto meal. Well, no, but it's a meal that keeps me in ketosis. And that's where I feel the best. Because I know that even if I may have a few potatoes with breakfast after a 5-mile walk, my body's not going to process it like the same, like as it would have when I was 300 pounds and not doing a 5-mile walk. So it can shift and adapt too. But I less sugar has changed my life. It makes me
for me
so
too.
much better. And then, like y'all know, as much as we get excited about that, I get excited about the fitness. So,
Maha, have you noticed a difference incorporating more of the PFSM?
PSMF. That's the way I remember. PSMF. It's the only way I can remember it. I gotta.
And I know what Misty means when she says the last 2 letters.
That's right, and that's how I remember PSMF. That's protein sparing modified fasting. I also know what it stands for, but that is my trick to remember if you ever need one. You're welcome.
But do you? Misty, I love you. So wait, can you tell a difference then, Maha? Is that helping with your cholesterol?
Oh, yeah.
Does that still kind of feel the same for you? You're getting your good energy and it makes you feel good?
So energy-wise, it's definitely way better. And even like the cholesterol, I've been testing myself every 3 months. I'm dropping. I'm still over the limit, but at least first I was in the amber area. Then I went to the red, and now I'm in the orange. Hopefully next time I test,
you're
gonna be in the
improving.
green.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
You're coming down, girl. Woohoo!
Yeah.
I'm
And
proud of
basically,
you.
that's the number that I'm targeting right now. I'm not even targeting the number on the scale anymore, because that's my health journey. It kind of shifted.
Yeah.
Which
It happens.
Oh yeah, we all have to do what makes the best for us. Well, yeah, once I get to like for sure under 200 pounds and maybe wherever, like maybe hopefully someday where Missy's at, I probably won't weigh myself anymore because right now it's a tool to see am I exercising enough? Am I eating right? Did I eat too much of this or whatever? So I'm just using it as a tool. But after a while, I have no desire to ever step on a scale again. If I'm feeling strong, I'm, my body's where I kind of want it or whatever have you. I just someday I won't ever step on the scale again. That's my goal.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, maybe I don't know what it'll look like. I'm not there yet. Still, every time I step on the the scale and it goes down again. I'm like, oh, we're still doing this. All right, all right.
And that's
Fine, let's
amazing.
keep
Yeah.
going. So I don't know how long that's going to last. That may take me another year or two. Like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even know. I'm just going to, for a
Well,
while, keep stepping on the scale. But I'm with you, Cheryl. The important part of that message is you use it as a tool so that you don't
exactly.
have
Yeah.
to use it
Right.
as a way to
Well, I
judge
would,
yourself.
if I got on there and I didn't lose weight, or if I gained a pound, I would just go on it all day long. Is it changing? No, it's getting
Yeah.
worse because I've ate, I drank water. Yeah, it's like, oh my goodness, leave that dang scale alone. You're just making yourself
Yeah.
worse.
For a
Yeah.
lot of people,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's for me as
Some
well.
people it's great and
Some
they
people can do
need
it.
it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I think Camille's mentioned she has all these years still weighs because she finds it to make sure she's eating properly the new day to see if it fluctuates a lot. And some people can handle it. That's fabulous. I just seem to get it in my head where it it's a tool. Now it's a tool. It serves its purpose and that's it. Nothing else for me. It's just a tool.
And
Yeah.
I
What about
like
you, Ellita?
what
What do you think about the
Misty
scale?
said. I hate the thing. Like, no,
Mhm.
it can jump off the bridge. No, I only hate it whenever it tells on me. But
Sounds
no,
like
Oh, I
I
hate
get
it all the
upset.
time.
I get obsessed with it really easily, so I have to make myself stay off of it. But I'm trying right now. The only day I'm weighing is Friday, and
Mhm.
I've got it in my planner, and I'm sticking to it right now. But I was going to say I agree with what like Misty was saying. Right now, she's at a place where every time she gets on it, she's dropping, and I think that's obviously not across the board because some people do it unhealthy. But Misty, with your diet and your exercise and the way you're living your life right now, I feel like your body will, when you get to where it needs to be, it will just stop. I think the way you're living your life right now is perfect, and just let it do what it's going to do. Now, if you were like starving yourself, then I would be like, no. But the way you're living your life right now is absolutely like it's the best.
Well, I mean, I appreciate it. It is working, but that doesn't, I did not realize until, I mean, I guess I kind of always knew, but I haven't even said it out loud officially on my own channel in these words, but I've talked about it. I am scared of losing weight. That is so silly. Why? Why am I scared? I'm so scared. I'm so scared to keep losing weight. It keeps dropping off. I want it to stop. But then, hey,
No,
buddy, how are you, sir?
Hello, we got an extra guest.
oh,
Hello.
yeah.
He bit his tongue and he needs attention.
Oh, oh,
Sorry,
you
Miss
need
Sarah,
love. That's
Welcome.
okay.
Say
Cuteness can
hi.
interrupt anytime. Hey,
No.
bud. I'm sorry you bit your tongue. Ow.
Oh,
Oh,
I know. That's not fun. Mm-mm. Hope you feel better, buddy.
Misty, I
Um,
have to say, you know me, I'm not judging, but I don't understand how.
I know. Well, and even if you go back and I mean, I know several of y'all have watched me for a long time, but people sort of forget. But if you go back, you'll see where, and it's a trend where I would lose weight and then I would panic and I'd put a little bit back on. And I kept doing. I would lose weight. I'd lose weight. I put a little bit back on. Oh, I'd lose weight. I'd lose weight. I'd put a little back on. And I
Yeah,
just did that in January. In December, I dropped 10 pounds. But I mean, I was pushing in December. I was ending the year strong. I was ready to go. Like I was doing all it, like you said, Alita. I was living my best life, doing all of the right things, eating plenty because I need to, so that I can do all of those
right.
things. And then I dropped 10 pounds, and I was like, "Whoa, oh shit, too fat, too soon." Whoop, whoop, whoop. Let's maintain. I need to break out of that. So
Yeah,
even though the scale, I try to use it as a tool, it still sometimes shoots me in the shoots me in the foot. Let me give it a better place to shoot me. It shoots me in the foot, and it scares me because I didn't know I had like a fear of losing weight. But it's because of change. I think it's scary, and so it's hard.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
do
I
you,
Change
sort of
can
went
be
off on a
scary
do you
rant
know
for
on
why
your
it's
sure.
channel
scary
there,
for you,
Cheryl.
Misty? Have you figured out why it's scary?
I mean, a whole bunch of reasons. How long y'all got? Like, I feel like I don't know. I've just been, it's something really recently that I've just really noticed. And I've really been looking back over, the last, just in my past when I would lose weight and gain weight. And what would happen even this time, within this time, and when would I put, never that I put a lot of weight back on at any one time, ever since I started over 3 years ago, I never would jump more than maybe 10, 15 pounds. And sometimes, and y'all know this can happen, which is why the scale can be so defeating. That'd be in like 3 days. Like in 3 days, I'd gain 12
Yeah.
pounds. That's stupid. You did not gain 12 pounds. That is a number
Right.
on a machine. Anyway, one of those types of things. But it was never huge or where I stopped and just, gained it all back. Not at least within the last 3 years. But yeah, every time I would lose, I'd get scared, and then I'd decide, oh, I've lost weight. Most people that motivates them, and they're like, I'm gonna keep on eating, I'm gonna keep going to the
That's
gym.
me.
I would lose weight and think, ooh, maybe I could skip exercise, maybe I should have a free meal. But it was so that I would stop losing weight. And I feel silly saying that out loud, but y'all know
Oh,
me. I share my truth because there are people who, like you
yeah.
said, are the opposite.
Don't feel
Right.
silly because I think change, and most people are honest, they're either afraid or nervous or don't know what to expect. I mean, there's all sorts of other words we can add on to that, but change can be so scary. I always thought was one of those people that go with the flow, but like you mentioned, Missy, I've been looking back at throughout my life, and there's times I'm actually petrified of things, which is so interesting. I didn't notice that at the moment or whatever have you. So it's different for everybody. And sometimes it's, what's the word, debilitating? Did I say
Hmm.
that right?
Yeah.
Where some people can actually just shut down from change. So
Right.
it
Oh
is
yeah.
hard and scary.
The last time I lost weight was 10 years ago. I lost almost 100 pounds, and I just had a full blown identity crisis and put all the weight back on intentionally. I didn't like the way that I looked. I didn't, but I wasn't eating keto or low carb, so I still didn't like the way that I felt. So I ate
Mhm.
few enough calories to where I would lose weight, and I was going to the gym and walking back then to help me lose weight, but I never did feel good. So yeah, I had a full blown, I don't know who this person is. I don't like her. She's not me. We're not doing this anymore. Let's put all the weight back on. And I did.
I was wondering if I can go back to that day when we were talking about the mirror and Mary suggests to put a current picture of yourself. And when I was listening to the conversation, I had that where I don't always look in the mirror. I'll walk past them, don't look. But I also have that thing where I don't notice how big am because I think it's one of those things I don't want to know. So the mirror's tricky even to this day for me. It's kind of maybe like the scale. It's like, wow, look, am I clean? Do I have stuff on my face? That kind of stuff. But that's all I'll do. But then if I really take a look, like whatever, it's like, oh wow, yeah, I don't know. It's like the mirror plays tricks in my mind sometimes. Does any of you other ladies
Yes.
have that too?
Oh God, yes. I had a mental breakdown at J.C. Penney's one day here, and I talked to somebody. It was Val, I think. I called Val, and she could relate because her mother had been through that. But it I went in there because I was at my smallest at the time. So this was last summer before everything started happening. I was at my smallest. I was like 201 pounds in an extra large going into a large. So I went to look for some large tops and found some pants, went to the fitting room, and y'all, like everything fit, but I left there in tears. Like I put everything back and I left there in tears because I couldn't get over, like, I've been dressing in a way of trying to hide myself all my life, ever since I can remember. And now all of a sudden I can wear the clothes that I want to wear, but I'm like, who are you to think that you can actually do that now? Like, no, you still got to cover up and hide and just wear black. I mean, it's really it's huge, a huge mental game.
Yeah, it
And
was. Oh, go ahead.
no, no, I was just going to say that that was my point. Well, and I didn't get anything that day. You know, I just can't deal with it. I extra large was okay, but when I made that move into the large, I lost it. I just lost it.
Hello, Derek. Welcome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Missy. You were going to add to that.
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna say it was actually it was Coach. It was Kirsten. We were on the live, and she
Oh,
was
I
like, "You should put a."
apologize. Okay.
No, no, I'm just saying. So it was Coach who had said that I should put a picture of myself, and I was like, a picture of me now, because I'm not gonna lie. When she said that, my first thought is, and the reason that I wanted to clarify who it was because my thought was, she's a real smart lady. Why would she say something stupid? Like, that's dumb. Why would I put a picture of me, myself, now that I'm looking at in the mirror of me on the mirror? How ridiculous. And then she said, because the picture can be, the mirror can be a lie. You are used to looking at yourself. You are still not seeing yourself the way you look to other people or in that
Right.
picture. So put that picture up there, because when we did our live stream, right before we started, she's like, well, I'm going to open up and talk about that time you were going to go to Vegas and you went down into the medium-sized clothes and had a full-blown panic attack. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's what
I
you want to
remember
talk
that.
about? Well, and she's
Yeah.
like, that was so impactful for me. I was like, really? Like, it didn't even occur to me that other people wouldn't feel that way about it. But yeah, I started thinking about it. I'm like, oh yeah, most people are like, look at me in my new smaller
Hmm.
clothes. I am
Yeah.
amazing. I am fabulous. And you are. Please do not get either one of us wrong, or anyone who feels this way. It is not that you are not fabulous. It is
Right.
scary, girl, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it
And it's
is.
hard for people to understand how you're finally doing it, and it's scary.
Right. Well, I
Has the
remember
mirror ever
going to
played tricks on you?
Cato's.
Maha, has
What
the
now?
mirror ever played tricks on you too in your mind, or it alter your perception?
Well, I'm the opposite of Misty, to be honest, because my mirror right now is kind of my NSV. So when I look at my mirror and I see like a smaller size, that's great. But now that I have an
Yeah.
IUD and my hormones has been like all over the place in the past months, I've gained some weight. And again, just like you said, in the tummy area mostly. And I looked at the mirror, I didn't look at the scale, and I knew that like, I was changing, and I recognized that it was because of the hormones and nothing else. And I was binge eating a little bit, so not I didn't stay clean, to be honest. But now I'm back. So I did the reset and everything, and now I'm not looking at the mirror. I'm gonna wait. Yes, of course, I look at the mirror when I have to get dressed and stuff.
Yeah,
But now
yeah.
I'm gonna wait for like at least I'm gonna do an 8 weeks kind of cleanse, and then when that's done, and that's when I'm gonna see what
Yeah,
what it
I
is.
know, right? It's
Oh,
so
that's
interesting.
great.
I think I need to. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a lag. I think I'm overlapping people.
Same
No,
with
go ahead,
me.
Misty. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, yeah, I find it so interesting that it can be the exact opposite. I need to look at myself more in the mirror because I just don't understand what I look like to even other people, especially with me too, in some regards, because in ways, at least in my brain, my body looks bigger, but it's just skin.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, my arm still looks big. But really, all of this could just be taken off, right?
Right.
Especially in my stomach. I mean, when I'm hopping rope, as I've been known to do recently, I mean, the skin in my stomach, you can hear it like just slapping. But
Well,
it's
you've
true.
lost the
It
whole
hurts.
person. You've lost the whole
Well,
person. So yeah, you do
I
have a lot
have.
of extra
And I
skin.
have that
So
person's, I have some of that person's skin still on me, and so it can be very uncomfortable. I had to find
Right.
go- Gold Bond Severe Itch Relief helps with the itching when you're jumping and your skin starts to get itchy because you're jumping so much. But yeah, for me, it's hard to know what I look like. So I think I need more time in the mirror, understanding what I look like, and then the pictures. Because when I see a picture, I'm like, that's not what I look like. It obviously is what I look like. It's a picture, but
Right.
I still go, I don't look like that.
Yeah.
Well, yes, you do.
well, I mean, seriously, think about
It's
it.
hard.
You were a larger lady for so much of your life that's what you
Yeah.
have the vision. And
Yes.
for me too, it's like when I have been down lower and I see pictures like, no, that's not me. I'm not, that's not the way I look. So that is total, I would believe, normal of our brains to think this way. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I would think this is the total normal way to
I
think.
think, but when I was big, I understood that I was big. I think a lot of people who are big believe they're smaller than they really are. I knew
Yeah.
how big I was. I just I didn't care. I realized I was huge. People are like, I didn't ever take pictures of myself. I thought I looked horrible. And I get it. I really do. I understand that people go through that. That is not my truth. I did not care what you thought about how I looked. Had my own YouTube channel way before I ever started about doing any of this. I have thousands of pictures and videos. Like, for me, that's when I connected. It's when I lost that half that my brain went, who is she?
Yeah.
Who is she? Woo, who is she? She's small. She's tiny. She doesn't take up very much space.
Yeah,
It's
we have to
hard.
get our adjustment to our brain from how we've been.
Yeah,
We need to update our brain.
it's hard. It's hard. And it's that change over time that you have to wait for and keep going for, but also be okay that you're going to change over time can be really tricky for a lot of people, me included,
Mhm.
to where I get scared of losing weight and want to maintain it for a little bit. Stop doing that, Misty. Lose the dadgum weight. It's
We
okay.
all have our things. We all
Yeah.
have our
Yeah.
things.
And I've done it 100 times and not been successful. That's the thing too. Like right now, this is my success journey for the moment. Check
It
me in a
most certainly
year.
is.
I hope
Yeah.
to still be on my success journey in a year. I don't see why I wouldn't be. But you still got to check me in a year.
But I think your change is just a permanent change. That's it.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there have been
You can tell.
hundreds of thousands of people that have said that and felt that, and it wasn't, me included.
But it's been like, how long has your journey been? 3 years now, right?
On this one, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go back on 3 years easily.
Well, yeah, easier than you think. I mean, to be honest, it'd be real easy to go back. I just don't want to anymore. So
Yeah.
it's
Well, yeah,
easier not to because I feel good and
Like
I
you're
have
convinced.
friends
It's your
and
new truth.
yeah,
yeah, new
Right.
truth, new you. And we just need to get our brains processing. This is
right.
where we are now. This is our new us.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep becoming new. And we're going to keep having more changes because we are getting healthier, stronger, feeling better. And we just need our lovely, beautiful brains to catch up with what we're doing.
Right.
I think it's easy to have bumps in the road, but not easier to go back all the way. Not at this stage, I think.
I don't think so. Again, but I also, when I lost 100 pounds 10 years ago, would have told you I would have never been at 300 pounds again.
Yes, but right now you have a huge support system around you.
I agree. It's different. Yeah, it's different. Yeah. But
Yeah,
again,
Derek is right. I
check
mean,
me in a year.
it is easy to gain a lot of weight back. I just did that myself, 70 some pounds.
Easy.
Um, yeah, I think when people have gained a lot of weight and they're losing it, it's so easy to put on a lot of weight fast because we go back
Yeah.
to our eating habits,
Yeah.
and then you just don't realize how fast it's happening till that day you get on that scale or whatever you do. And
Yeah.
hello,
Yeah.
LB and Derek
I
and
mean,
Jenny. Very
it's
grateful you're here with everybody.
hey, LB. Yeah, I mean, it's proven that you put it on faster, but it's also shown that you can lose it faster if you do
Mhm.
it the next time too, because what your body knows. So it's both good and bad depending on which one of them you're doing in the moment. But yeah, it's a lot easier than you think. And I mean, it's all about perspective, right? Like even this morning in our workout, Cheryl, coach said the calories, and she's like, for those who care, because some of you don't, because we remind her that for some of us, that's not a good way to think about a workout, is how many calories and how much can I now eat because of that. For a lot of people, that's not healthy. But for a lot of people, that's a really healthy place for them to be. And I've done this workout. That means I can have this many calories, but it's just from a nice, healthy place, right?
Mhm.
It's not from a restrictive, negative place. So it's about where you are and it's about how you look at it. Because for me, I'm at like 175 pounds and I've lost almost half my body weight. And I really want to make skinny people jokes because comparatively, I am really skinny and I think I look amaze balls. Really, I do. Like, I'm like,
You
I look
do.
great.
You
I still
do.
don't totally understand exactly how big or small I am in comparison to other people, but I still know that I look better than I did, right? But I'm still some people's starting weight
Mhm.
Right.
Oh, true,
right
true.
now.
Maybe, yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And I do agree with you. Like I've gained a lot of weight that I've lost in my lifetime, but it's because I
Mhm.
was losing it for the wrong reasons. And now that I am
Oh,
in the
sure.
right mindset, like yes, right now I gained a little bit of weight, but it wasn't that bad.
You're good.
I was able
Hmm.
to get back on the horse. And this is where I'm coming from when I'm saying because we're in the right
Sure.
mindset, it's gonna be
Mhm.
more difficult to put on the weight because we're convinced this is the right thing to do right now.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure,
I'm
Maha, for sure. Yeah,
convinced.
our mindset. Yes, big time.
So I do agree with
I'm
everyone,
sorry.
including you,
I
Derek.
was just grinning at Alita because I'm just so excited to see an excited Alita again. I told you that
Oh,
the other
We
day,
love
and I mean it.
Alita.
I love your
it's been a
smile,
minute.
Elita.
Thank you.
I mean, Cheryl,
I,
you've been
it
excited for a hot minute, so I mean, and Maha, I'm just always excited to see you. So
You
Well,
too.
well,
no, it's
Cheryl,
because
I think
we miss. Go ahead,
I
Alita. We
told
miss you, but
her
go ahead. Say what you want to say.
I told there's definitely a lag going on. I don't mean to
mm,
interrupt, but it just I told her the other day, I think I did do a lot of my traveling, during the time I was going through all my depression and everything. And I think that was mainly because, you know, get away, do something you're not used to doing and have a little fun that you're not used to having and get out of the boring routine of being at home. And so I did. I traveled quite a bit, but there was something different. Like I had fun with my brother and I had fun with Nate, but I was still just drowning. And when I went to visit Cheryl, it's like she, I don't know, I can't pinpoint anything she said or did, but when I came back, it's like I was ready. I was ready to get back to it. And I had my little fun. And most of those months wasn't even fun. I say fun because I was cheating, constantly. But most of it wasn't even fun. It was sad. It was really sad because I got back in the habit of hiding, and it's just uh when you're not happy with yourself, you're not proud of yourself, and ain't nobody else gonna be proud of you either. So you just kind of tuck away and ignore everybody. And I still don't get on social media a lot, but I'm trying to up my game a little bit there because I think that does help me instead of hurt me to be able to talk about my feelings and see that I'm not by myself, in the struggle. But yeah, the struggle's not over as far as the cravings. I can definitely tell a difference right now. But me and JC's been doing a lot better the past week than we were doing as far as cravings go. And I told him let's try not to voice our our cravings. Because then that just plants the seed there. You know, if you say you want something, then you're just going to constantly think about it until you finally get in the car and go get it. So we're trying that because that helped us last time. So it's been a journey, but hey, that's what it's all about. So I hope
Well,
I'm here
one
to
thing,
stay this time.
yeah. Well, one thing too, Alita, you were already working through so many of the things that you had going on from that time frame that you have left social media. That I think by the time you did meet me and we had all that fun, and we did talk about some things, but we mostly just made it as fun. You were ready, and you just needed
Yeah,
that break away from, and not like anything's bad at your home, but you just need that break away, just recharge and like, I'm ready. I know these are things I want to
right.
do, but you just you just got a little extra. I don't know, like love in your soul and I don't know, a push to
Yeah.
get where you wanted to go or something. I don't know. I'm
It's
probably not
like
even saying
night
it
and
right,
day.
but
No,
It's
look.
really like night and day.
I mean, Alita, you know that I'm the first person to give you 100% of your space, but I'm also the person who is still periodically going to be there to be like, I
Yeah.
haven't forgotten. And the reason that I do that is because I am also the person to ghost everybody. But what I have learned, and I heard y'all talking about it as I was trying to join earlier, and you're spot on, Cheryl. And Alita, I heard y'all talking about it, but I could do this without you, but it wouldn't be as effective and it wouldn't be as fun. And the reason
Yeah.
that it wouldn't be effective is because the support helps.
Yes.
The support helps. And it's
Yeah.
okay to admit that you need support. It's hard
Mhm.
to be vulnerable. I still struggle and fight against it. It
Yeah.
takes courage. You have to overcome fear. That's my word of the year, right? But it can be really hard to do, and it's okay to
Yeah.
admit that, just like it's okay to admit that junk food makes you feel better because it is proven that it
Yeah.
makes you feel better. It is designed
Right.
to give you the feel better hormone. That is what it is. Okay to
It's
say
true.
junk food makes me feel good. I think if you say junk food makes me feel horrible, part of that's a lie. The
Yeah.
part that makes you feel horrible is that the reason you made the decision to eat it.
Yeah.
Because if you said tomorrow I'm gonna eat this, whatever, and then you go tomorrow and you eat that, I bet you don't feel nearly as bad about it as if you just all of a sudden go, oh, I need a Twinkie. I'm gonna eat this Twinkie
Yeah.
right now, and then you're like, man, I shouldn't have ate that Twinkie. Why did I eat
Right.
the Twinkie? The Twinkies made me
Yeah.
feel horrible, but you ate it
Yep.
because you knew when you was eating that Twinkie, you was gonna feel good.
Right.
mhm.
But you have to think about the future, the afterthought of it, right? How you feel about
Yeah.
it later. And people are like, they don't want to admit that junk food makes them feel better. Like it's a bad thing.
Right.
Is it? In some ways, yeah. But why is it bad? And it's all
Doesn't
that
it like do the
mentality.
endorphins? It gives you the
Yeah,
It gives
endorphin
Yeah.
you,
rush.
it's like the
you get a
dopamine.
dopamine. Yeah, you get a
Dopamine.
Yeah.
That's
rush.
the word. Dopamine
Yeah.
rush. Yeah.
It makes you feel better. It's okay to say it out loud. The trick is how can you change and make other things make you feel better? And one of the things that makes me feel better is y'all.
That's true.
Oh, I
Yeah.
agree 100%. I agree.
We love you, Misty.
It's like one time, well, the only time before now that I lost weight, I was 29, I think. It was right before I lost my dad. Me and my husband, my first husband, we were doing Weight Watchers. And it was kind of part of the getting ready to have a baby type thing. You know, we were
Mm.
trying. And so we were losing weight. I lost like 50 pounds, and then my dad died. And I went to my baby doctor, and I told her, I said, I don't know what's going on with me. I'm craving a blizzard every day, and I'm allowing myself that. And I did every single day until I finally ended up gaining my 50 pounds back and then some. But she explained to me that when you're sad, when you're depressed, you know, it does give you dopamine. It makes you happy, the happy hormone. And she's she did tell me to allow myself a little bit, but I took it way too far. I took it way too far. And but yeah, but I've got to learn to not use that as an okay, like do it because I'll get in my feelings and feel sorry for myself, and then I'll be like, okay, just this one time. Well, no, because with me, there is no just one time. It's
Yeah.
going to be repetitive until I'm 30 pounds up, you know? And I don't know. I don't know if without y'all, I don't know if I could have pulled the reins in this time because I was so far just, I was so embarrassed and my anxiety was up and everything. So I don't know if I could have done it this time without y'all. But I'm here, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, you are.
We're happy you're here. So we love you.
I love y'all.
Maha, I'm not to put you on the spot. You could say absolutely nothing, but since we talked about all sorts of women issues that affected us, she's shaking her head. No, okay, you don't need to talk about
No,
any
I'm
of them.
kidding. I'm kidding.
But
Go
just
ahead.
if
Go
you
ahead. I'm just
wanted
kidding.
to, no, I just if you wanted to, I wanted to give you space if you were interested.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Thanks. PS.
No, you do not.
No,
need
no,
to
no.
if
Maha's
you
got
want to. I
jokes.
just,
Yeah.
oh,
I like the joke.
Someone told Maha she was funny. It was me. I told her. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cheryl.
No, I've struggled with PMS my whole life. Like it's
Mm.
just for me. It's like Mother Nature. Seriously, come on, take a chill pill. It's been
Yeah.
it's been extreme my entire life, and then even like usually my first day of period, I'm just dysfunctional, like genuinely
Yeah.
dysfunctional, and it's not fair. It's not fair that we have to go through all of this, and then
No.
of course things change after I've gave birth to my kids and everything, but still I still had PMS. It's not.
Now it's
There
not
you
PSF.
That was funny.
go. Of
That's
course, like
maybe
when I
why
first
it's so hard for women to remember the name of it. Because our brain wants to go PMS first instead of
exactly.
oh,
PS.
I do. I did all the
we,
time. Yep.
yeah,
I think
we
Maha
don't want
nailed
any
the
part of
problem with
that.
PSF is the women. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go
There you
ahead.
go. No, no, that's fair. That's fair. And then finally, I was like, so I was on the pill at some point after my second kid was born, and then, but like gaining weight, and then did I forget? Did I remember to take the pill? And I figured, just I'm just gonna try the IUD, and it's like you press the button and you said, "Thank you, Mother Nature, goodbye." So for
I
me,
mean, oh, good.
no, that's it. That was it for me right now. Like I'm good. I'm settling down on the with the IUD. Is things are changing but improving. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, that's so I because I have the one ovary still, which is good times because the best thing about the hysterectomy was the fact that Mother Nature just had to stop doing that anymore.
There you
So I
go.
didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to worry
Yeah.
about always having to change of clothes. I didn't have to worry about always having a bag full of it's like I was so happy about that. But now my hormones, I don't know when they're gonna happen because I don't get the sign anymore of you're on your cycle. That's why you were just crying at the TV show yesterday, right? Like I don't so sometimes it's still strange, and now I'm at the age, I'm 47, I'll be 48 in July, where I'm in the pre-menopause where at night I start burning up from the inside out, and I'm like, oh no. So yeah, I mean it's a good
Well,
thing to get it under control, but
Yeah.
it's a
yeah.
lot to deal with, and you still got to stay on top of it if you have, the pieces of it that do that. But yeah, it can
Right.
be tricky. It can be nice, but still you got to,
Yeah.
stay on top of
Yeah.
Well,
I
there
don't see the nice
is.
part of it except for having the kids.
it.
Well, there is a part of your brain that even though I wish I could remember the word, my doctor told me I haven't looked it up, is because it tells your body, okay, it's time to have a period. So since I have nothing, my body, that my brain would, pardon me, try to tell me that. So I would still have symptoms, sometimes like the emotional, or, oh my gosh, I need to eat, or, what, all the things, PMS things. It is very rare that happens, but it still does sometimes happen, at least maybe twice a year. To me, and I do it like Misty said. I have to think, what is it? Oh, my brain's trying to tell me you need to have a period, but nothing's there, nothing's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your body's telling you, hey, it's time, let's do the thing. You don't have any of the things. We are not doing the thing. What do you do? Eat all the food. Eat all, like, it does. It still gets me, but it's hard because I don't have sometimes it's not until after that phase that I'm in is over, and I'll be like, oh, that's probably what it's the end of the month. My body's thinking it's time. This is when we do the thing. So yeah, with the PMS, I still get some of that, but I don't. There is some relief to the, oh, well, that's why. So I'm sure even with the IUD, it's a little bit tricky as you learn it because you're not getting that, Oh yeah, sorry, Derek.
What, Derek? You don't know what we're talking about.
Lucky you, Derek. Lucky you.
Well, my husband, he's like a walking, talking, breathing reminder, because it's like I'll be going along, everything's going great for the month, and then all of a sudden I'll snap at him or bark at him or just bite his head off. And as I'm walking away, he's like, "You're about to start," and then that's not the right thing to say.
No, it's
So
not the right thing.
It
It is still probably true. But
It's true. And what's even worse is like 2 or 3 days later, it shows
when
up,
it
and
happens,
then I'm in there cussing him out because he was right.
he was right. Yeah.
But it's horrible. It's just horrible. The cravings and the cramping and the headache, and I just don't like anybody during that time. Like nobody. Just lock the room and just do an exorcism or something.
Yeah. And see,
Well,
Derek's
we
no
have.
la 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 la. That's why most
I
men
know. I
don't know
see that.
anything
I'll
about it.
post
Because
it.
I don't want to know about it either, Derek. I want to opt out, but I wasn't given the
Yeah,
opportunity. My work husband, though, he
exactly.
knows. He knows all about it. He's like, let's talk about any subject. He's there for it. He wants, and his wife loves that about
Yes.
him because she can be like, not today. This. He's like, gotcha, check, boom. I'll leave you alone for 3 days.
Who's
There
that?
you go.
He's all in it. I mean, when I had my
Yeah.
hysterectomy, he was asking me why, what all they were doing, what all did they fight. Like he wanted to know all of the people. Was I going to need anything after I was done? Like, and there are some that they want to know to help, but yeah, I'd opt out of knowing it if I could. I did. In fact, that's why I didn't go to a doctor until I was in my 40s, because if you don't
Oh
go,
yeah.
then you don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Mhm.
you know what can happen when you don't know? It can kill you. So go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Again, that's gonna be
Yeah.
my message
Go
for
to the
today. Go get checked out. Whatever you need to be checked for.
get checked out. And
They
Becky
do,
is correct.
Becky, and they just don't
Men's
talk about it.
hormones go up and down just like women's do, and they have
True.
their own cycles.
That's
So
true.
very
They
Yeah.
true
do.
statement there, Becky.
Yep.
But men may
Yeah.
not want to admit to this information, but it is a fact.
Yeah.
Rick
I
just told me I'm
remember,
full of
I
it.
think it was,
See, there you go.
I think it was last month. I Becky ended up gaining like 2 or 3 pounds with me last month during my cycle, and I was like, "It's sympathy weight. You're putting on sympathy weight with me." And he's like, "No, that's not fair." And we were just laughing about it, but
It
seriously,
is.
like guys don't realize how hard it is, with being a woman and trying to lose weight, and you're fighting a losing battle some days of the month. But or that's how it feels. But
Yeah.
Oh, it sure does. It sure does.
There were days where I would
Well,
just
we have
wake
been
up
on.
angry. I would never admit that to my husband. I was just to wake up and just angry and just looking for
yeah,
something to argue about, like, or just angry at
yeah,
everything under the sun. That's
yeah.
not fair.
Mm-mm.
It
No.
isn't
Oh,
fair.
there's been so many times that and it's horrible when you realize it. Like, God, I was a real, you know what, to him,
Oh yeah.
and sometimes I'll let him know that I know, and sometimes I'll just go about my day.
Just let it go. Like, oh, he's already
Yeah,
figured it out. He knew. He
yeah.
already
Oh
knew.
yeah. Oh yeah. He
No.
knew when I opened my eyes this morning what mood we was gonna be in today.
Yeah,
He
they're
knows.
pretty
He's
good.
a smart guy.
That's what I'm saying. Some of them are.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering, we have where are we at? We're already over an hour and a half. Is there anything anyone would like to close with? Whether it's keto, PCOS, anything, and if you have anything coming up that you would like to share, please do so. Would you like to start,
Oh,
Ellita?
I'm just looking over my notes, making sure I didn't forget
Okay,
anything.
sure.
well, while she's doing that, I will say what pretty much I just said. Go get your physical, whatever that means for you, whatever annual stuff you are old enough to go and start doing. Please go do it. Take care of yourself. The better you take care of yourself, the better you can take care of others. And we have just established that community is important. And the way to be a
Yeah.
part of it is to be the best version of yourself. So please go get checked out, whatever you need. That's what I would
Right.
like to share. Cheryl, Alita, thank you so much for having me. Maha, you know you're one of my favorite people. I'm so glad to
You
spend
too,
time with you.
Misty.
But I love all three of you. Thank you very much for having me here. Thank you, everybody in the chat. And that is what I would like to say for today. Cheryl, thank you. And then I'll hang out while everybody else closes out.
Thank you, Misty. We love you too.
It's good to go first. Now I can be a participant. I'm going to participate. This is
Misty
how I
Yeah.
be
jumped all
watching
on that.
y'all. This is how I was before I started. So go ahead. I'm just gonna listen.
You are too precious. I was just going to say, we know our bodies better than anybody else, better than the doctors that we see. We know when something's wrong, when something doesn't feel right. And like we said earlier, we're not trying to push keto on anyone, but if you do have PCOS, at least give it a try. At least try low carb because it really does. Uh, it's like night and day the way your body feels off carbs, and you don't have to do the high fat. Like um, we're not
Nope.
trying to do the extreme high fat or anything. I think that's a big something that people get confused about is that fat should be when you're on keto, it should be used as a lever, not as a goal that you're trying to reach. It should be a lever. If you're hungry, then add a little bit more fat to your diet. We're not talking about bacon and cheese every meal, but that's a misconception that a lot of people have. I would never tell somebody to eat bacon and cheese every day. I mean, that's crazy. But use your head, if you're already overweight, which most of us are, then just lower the carbs. That's all you have to. You don't even have to look at the sugar because if it's low carb, it is low sugar or no sugar. So
Yep.
we make it too complicated, guys. We make it way too complicated. Just take away the bread, take away the pasta, take away the rice, and see how you feel in 2 weeks. That's all. I love you guys. Thank you, and I'm out.
Yeah, no, if I can do my closing argument, I totally agree with Misty about doing the yearly physical. That's how I found out about my cholesterol. That's how I found out about my kidney issues. So yeah, definitely go get yourself checked. We all need to do that. And I agree with LB about our community. It's like I love that we have this amazing community. We're here to support each other, to help each other. And the little one over, you want to say bye?
He's here to
Bye.
support us too. Woohoo! Yes.
You want to give them flying kiss? Okay.
Oh,
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to interrupt, by the way. And it's kind
no.
of yeah. So
Loving
no,
every minute of it.
thank you.
Is in anything else, Maha? I don't want to cut you off. If
No,
that's
no, that's fine. Yeah, thank you. I'm good.
well, I love all of you ladies, and thank you so much for coming on here and being a part of this. And thank you, Ellita, for when I brought the idea up to you, you just yes, let's go for it. And because there is because for sure, I'm older, so I did not get diagnosed properly. Where it sounds like some of us do not. And I think it's appropriate to bring awareness because I think some of these symptoms overline other things.
Yeah.
So it is important to go to the doctor. And if you're not getting results with whatever form of action you're taking, maybe you need to see a different doctor or do more research to find out where a
Right.
doctor may be able to help you with these things. Because there are some doctors just plain don't know or don't care, and they just
Yeah.
whatever. Maybe and that's the truth with any field, anywhere. I'm not being mean to doctors or anything. It's just you do your research, find out, and yes, please go to a doctor for anything. And our community is so great, and we're here for everybody. And I think I can speak for all of us. We want the best for everybody. We want us to feel the best, be our strongest, be
Yeah.
the healthiest, be as mentally clear as you possibly can, because for what we are experiencing, we know that when we have these things aligned, life is just so much better.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we can give more of ourselves, because I always want the best for everybody, and I always want to be there for everybody. And if I'm in one of my depression stupors and I've eaten for binge ate for 5 days straight and I haven't showered for 2 weeks, how am I helping anybody? I'm not even helping myself.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Yep.
but anyways, I just love you all. Thank you so much for being here. And everybody who came to
Thank
the
you for
chat,
having
thank
me.
you so much. I just love you all. Anything
We
else?
love
Any
you,
last
Cheryl.
words, or did we get it all?
We love you,
Love
Cheryl.
you.
Yeah.
You are amazing.
Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. And I believe in you. And I hope everybody has a lovely weekend. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Uh,